Good everyone. Time now is 5:30. As you would stand, we'll call the City of Leesburg Commission meeting to order. We all bow our heads for a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We honor you. We give you thanks for all that you've done for us to live in such a great city as Leesburg. Tonight we ask that you, God, grant us with guidance and wisdom that we can make decisions that be beneficial for our city, all that affect what we do here tonight. We pray, God, for peace and prosperity throughout of our city, our business owners, our homeowners, and God, we pray tonight what we do transforms our city for the better. We ask all these blessings in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tonight we have no proclamations. We do have some presentations, and we're going to turn over to our planning manager, Dan Miller.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Thank you. Tonight it's my honor to be able to hand out several service awards to members of both the Planning Commission of the City of Leesburg and the Leesburg Historic Preservation Board. I'd like to ask these gentlemen to join me over here. Mr. Don Luckage on the Planning Commission, Mr. Troy Townsend, Mr. James Argento, Mr. Stuart Kaplan, and looking for Mr. John O'Kelly if he comes in. As they were coming forward, I just wanted to note that all of these individuals worked very hard for many years making tough and often controversial decisions. There's Mr. O'Kelly. Making tough and often controversial decisions and recommendations to the City Commission in public hearings regarding zoning cases, variances, conditional uses, and historic preservation issues. While each of these gentlemen brought their own background and outlook to the job, in every decision, each of these gentlemen has truly been dedicated to making Leesburg a better city. Their input and commitment have been crucial to the continued growth and success for our city. So from the planning staff, Carrie Lee, Diane, myself, Adrian, Candy, and Sabrina, we really appreciate you guys very much for all you've done. So I'd like to hand out this award to Mr. Stuart Kaplan, this plaque, for 5 years of service from 2014 to 2019. And then Mr. Troy Townsend from 2010 to 2019. Mr. James Argento,
Thank you for your service.
from 2010 to 2019, and chairman from 2017 to 2019.
Thank you, Charlie. Good. How are you doing?
For your service.
Mr. Don Luckage, Planning Commission member from 2007 to 2019. And then
Sir John.
Thank you, sir.
And this final one's a real treat for staff. Mr. John O'Kelly, in appreciation for dedication and service to the Historic Preservation Board, a member from 1997 to 2019, and chairman from 2010 to 2019, Mr. O'Kelly. Thank you all very much.
Yes, you do.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Victoria.
Thank you. That's great, John. I've been 22 years. Thank God. That's when I moved here to this city. I saw that. I'm like,
We thank those planning commission meeting members and historic preservation members for the dedication and service to the city of Leesburg. Item 4 is our consent agenda, where routine items are placed on the consent agenda to expedite the meeting. If the commissioner staff wish to discuss any item, the procedure is as follows. Pull the item from the consent agenda, vote on remaining items with one roll call vote, and discuss each item pulled and vote by roll call. Are there any items tonight that need to be pulled?
C1 and C3, please.
C1, C3. And I need to pull 4, C5 to abstain.
C5. So I got 1, 3, and 5.
Yes, sir. Do you have an intended motion?
Move to approve the remaining items.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Roebuck?
Yes.
Commissioner Dennison?
Yes.
Mayor Christian?
Yes. Item 4C1.
Introduced and asked it not be read,
A and B.
and move to approve.
Was it A or B or just or both?
Oh,
For me, actually, if we just take the first resolution, that'll take care of both of them.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion. We have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Commissioner Dennison, you pulled that one. Discussion on that one?
Aren't we on,
the airport resolution.
4C.
4C1.
What? About the for the airport?
oh, okay, I'm sorry. I thought you had pulled another one, that's why I was just sitting here. Question about this, I'm glad that you're here. C-Ray is here. My only question with this is, does this meet the minimum standards at the airport? Or are we gonna have to change some minimum standards?
Technically, the answer to that is it does meet the minimum standards because city facilities are excluded.
Okay,
So are we holding us up to the same standard? Is no. We do think on a staff level that there's a couple things that make this okay. By code it is, but if we want to ensure that we do hold us to the same standard, then we do need to change the standards.
okay.
But number two, I think more importantly too, we think with this corporation, with the duration of the lease, it promotes growth at the airport, and we hope that C-Ray is going to find a home at the airport and grow larger. And in addition to that, just with the job creation and that kind of thing, that it's worth the lease,
Okay, thank you.
the term.
Commissioner Robo?
So I had some similar concern, and so I pulled the airport standards as well. And while this kind of funny, we give ourselves a blanket provision that says we have all these standards, but none of them apply to the city. But I also really want to have C-Ray at the airport, and I think the intent is long term that they would move into a bigger facility if this works out, and then would meet our minimum standards. For me, though, because of that, and because this kind of maybe violates the spirit of our standards, if not the letter, I'd be more comfortable with about a 3-year lease so we could see how it goes, and then hopefully we'd have a better long-term solution, and if not, then we could kind of evaluate where it is and see whether we wanted to continue kind of making what is an exception to our standards by allowing a business to locate in a corporate hangar that's really meant for just a kind of a plane and not a business.
Anything? Ms. Peterson?
No, I guess being new to the commission, I think I now understand the issue. It's just the term of lease. Is that all we're talking about here? I'm trying to understand the city's standards.
Standards are operations in
Oh, okay.
facilities, that kind of thing.
Okay, I got you.
What's permitted, what's not permitted.
Our standards say that to do what they're doing, or basically
They need a
any
larger
business at the
hangar.
airport, pretty much, you need to have a minimum of I think it's an acre, and then there's a size as well. Is it 20,000 square feet, maybe?
Something like that.
Something like that, off the
But
top of my head.
do you know what it is off the top of your head, Tracy? Just tell me.
Well, there's, for different activities, there's different. So for like a repair and maintenance of GA aircraft, it's half an acre.
Okay.
Which we just took that down from an acre.
Gotcha.
Of course, FBO is 8 acres. There are additional, as in how much size of an office or parking available for your customer base and so on and so forth.
And we did that maybe 2 years ago, a year ago, maybe a little more than it was before you were on the commission, Commissioner.
Yeah, they used to be more
when
stricter.
we did it, and they were stricter. And my personal opinion was some of those restrictions that are in there, I think, are still egregious, just because the airport is so hungry for land, and I think that those limitations make it difficult. So.
But what we don't want is a bunch of, kind of like backyard mechanics operating out of a T hangar doing work on the side. That's what we're trying to stop. So this is kind of in between. I mean, since it's a legitimate business that has a lot of growth potential, but it's still in a very small hangar.
Right.
I think it was 1,000 square feet. Is that right?
They're 3,600.
Oh, 3,600.
each.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so it's big.
And while they are for storage only, the minimum standards basically is to stop unfair competition but I feel that this business is not in direct competition with, there is no likeness to them on the airport. And I did make 15 calls to fill them.
Well, I mean, I'm appreciative of having them at the airport, so I mean, I would support it, you know.
No, I'm really happy they're coming to the airport, but maybe we should have to address some of this in case it happens again,
Okay.
on those standards.
Would you like to address the commission at all?
Sure. I'm Jeffrey.
You just come to the microphone, please. We let Tracy slide this time.
Excuse me. My name's Jeffrey Nicholson. I'm the CEO of Progressive Aerodyne. And our sole reason for even broaching the subject is that we're growing and we've outgrown our production facility in Tavares. To that end, to make this possible for us, what we're doing, or what we plan to do, is move our service function out of the factory so we can devote the whole factory to production and get rid of the disruption between service and production. Our service is only for Sea Ray aircraft, and specifically light sport aircraft that are factory built, not even experimental Sea Rays. So we are not in competition with anyone. The only competition is a service center in California, in Missouri, and Texas. Otherwise, we are the sole service center for the Southeast. We do not compete. We do not offer services for any other aircraft, and no other FBOs near here even attempt to do service on this type of aircraft.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Any other public comment? Any public comment? Okay, commission?
Do we have it? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I thought. Just want to make sure. It is actually in the lease that they can only do Sea Ray aircraft. Right, yeah.
Commissioner Dennison, anything else?
Nothing else, thanks.
Ready to vote? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Roebuck,
Yes.
Commissioner Dennison,
Yes,
Commissioner Peterson,
Yes.
Mayor Christian.
Yes.
welcome.
And I don't care.
Item 4C3. It's a resolution. Someone like to introduce it?
I'll introduce and ask to be read by title only, please.
Thank you.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Leesburg, Florida, accepting and approving a plat of Lake Denham Estate Phase 1, a subdivision within the City of Leesburg, Florida, being a portion of the south half of Section 3 and a portion of the southwest quarter of Section 2, Township 20 South, Range 24 East, in the City of Leesburg, Florida, and accepting and dedicating to the use of the public any easements or public places shown hereon as being dedicated to the public and providing an effective date.
Have a motion.
Move for approval.
Second.
Discussion.
The reason I asked this to be pulled, back when we had the torrential rains and whatnot, the water flow off of this Lake Denham went into Corley Island and damaged a house there with mud and whatnot. Now, the person in Corley Island has been very respectful to the company, but it sounds like the dredging company, and they are subcontractors, are giving the royal runaround. The house has damaged wood, has damaged walls from mud, and the joists are still wet from months ago. I've got to believe that this company has insurance, that they can take care of this situation, and as such, I want Leesburg to be a good neighbor to the county where Corley Island is. They're not in Leesburg, they're in the county. But I don't think we should let people suffer because we're trying to expand Leesburg. So that's the main reason I pulled this.
If you could get me that,
I've got the book with me right now.
yeah, and I'll get back with the developers and see what we can do to
Okay.
square up.
Any
That was it?
other commission discussion?
I'm just excited we're getting a non-age restricted
I know, me
community. So I was talking to one of the guys from Course Lab, and he was talking about how they can't hire enough people out there because
Yeah.
there's just no housing. So and this is right down the road from it.
Yeah.
So
Any public comment? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hurley,
Yes.
Commissioner Dennison,
No.
Commissioner Peterson,
Yes.
Commissioner Roebuck,
Yes.
Mayor Christian.
Yes. Item 4C5, ask if Vice Mayor would carry this motion. I have to abstain.
Yes. Somebody like to introduce, please?
I'll introduce, has to be read by title only.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Leesburg, Florida, authorizing the Mayor Pro Tem and City Clerk to execute a three-way land exchange agreement with the Child Advocacy Center and the Community Development Corporation and providing an effective date.
Move for approval.
Second.
Discussion?
No. Well, I'm sure we'll continue to partner with the CDC going forward.
Yep.
This is the one where we've actually already
This
done
is,
the house that kind of was tied to this. I don't want to say.
no, this is
Or
the
no?
this is the one where we wanted the southwest, the north,
The park-
hold on,
the parking lot
Canal
there.
Pine,
Yeah.
the northeast corner of Canal.
But I thought we already gave the
Pine.
CDC the house that was kind of tied to this stuff.
We did, and we did.
Okay, I just want to make sure that I was remembering
Yeah.
correctly that those were kind of
Right,
tied
and so
together.
it was the CAC parcel to the city, a big portion of a CDC parcel to the CAC, so they can make up for the area that they lost, and then the city continued to work with CDC. So CDC's approved it. It's pending here,
Right.
and I anticipate that the CAC will execute it at their next board meeting too.
Just to let you know, this is all part of the renovation that's going on in the Pine Street area, which will include our new pool and facilities over there for hoping to get the businesses up and running. So that's what's going on with this resolution.
Commissioner Peterson,
Yes.
Commissioner Roebuck,
Yes.
Commissioner Hurley,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor's abstaining, Mayor Pro Tem Dennison.
Yes.
Okay, item 5 is our public hearings and non-routine items. Item 5 is a second reading.
I'll introduce and ask to be read by title only.
An ordinance of the City of Leesburg, Florida, amending Chapter 28 of the Code of Ordinances entitled Stormwater, restricting the timing of application and content of certain fertilizers, restricting application permitted within 10 feet of a water body, providing for inclusion in the code, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion from the commission? Comment from the public? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Dennison?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Roebuck?
Yes.
Commissioner Hurley?
Yes.
Mayor Christian.
Yes. Item 5B is also a resolution. Someone like to introduce it, please?
I'll introduce and ask to be read by title only, please.
Thank you.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Leesburg, Florida, appointing 2 members to the Carver Heights, Montclair Area Community Redevelopment Agency, CRA Board, for a 4-year term to expire December 31st, 2023, and providing an effective date.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have.
You gotta-
Yeah, I know.
we got-
Okay,
Got you
I
going, though,
make a
didn't you?
motion that we appoint Mr. Abraham Connor and Miss Erica Jasper to the board.
Got a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
I know Mr. Connor.
Is-
Dr. Jasper, you want to come and introduce yourself,
Yeah.
please? I don't see Mr. Connor or Mr. Johnson either.
Mr. Johnson did not apply.
You
Step it
resign?
down.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do know her, I just didn't recognize her. I
So-
apologize.
No worries. Good evening. My name is Dr. Erica Jasper. I am a native of Leesburg. I was born and raised here. I attended Carver Middle School, and also I graduated from Leesburg High School, and now I'm back home. And I do live within the Carver Heights community, and I'm here to make an effective change for my neighborhood. I live there, and I'm super excited about the opportunity. So thank you for the opportunity again. And so I'm just looking forward to work with the commission and just do a better job in making that community a better place to live. Thank you.
I read your resume. I'm expecting a lot from you.
She's also a pharmacist. She didn't give her history, but she actually grew up in Nicole's neighborhood, so she's one of our success stories that actually went and did great things, and she's back home in Leesburg, so we're going to put her to work. We do have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Roebuck?
Yes.
Commissioner Hurley?
Yes.
Commissioner Dennison?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Mayor Christian.
Yes. Item 5C is also a resolution appointing 2 members to the Greater Leesburg CRA. Somebody want to introduce it, please?
I'll introduce and ask to be read by title only, please.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Leesburg, Florida, appointing 2 members to the Greater Leesburg Community Redevelopment Agency, CRA Board, for a 4-year term to expire December 31st, 2023, and providing an effective date.
On this, we do have 4 applications.
I guess I see Mrs. Coney. I don't know if anyone else is
Ms.
here.
Felix is here.
Ms. Felix?
She's
Okay,
here.
you raise your hand. Okay, Ms. Felix is here. And we have
Ms. Coney.
Ms. Coney and Mr. Darren Ackerman.
He's here.
Darren Ackerman is here. And we have Mr. Gerald Galbrook. Jerry's not here. Okay, so we have 3 people that are here. If you would just come, please, and give us 1 minute, kind of tell us who you are and kind of your reason for wanting to serve on the Greater Leesburg CRA.
Gee, 1 minute?
1 real minute.
Oh, wow. I'm Betty Stevens Coney. I'm speaking on behalf of the CRA in the city of Leesburg East Side. I'm proud to serve on that board because I liken serving on the CRA board to an irrigation system. As we know, an irrigation system provides water at interval times to crops to make sure that the crops are, and the soils and the landscapes are watered. Likewise, a CRA in that district ensures that we get tax revenue for the continuation of economic growth and for community restoration. So, as a member of this community for a lifetime, as I look around, I'm a historical fixture here almost now. So it is my pleasure to serve on this board to ensure that we continue the life in that area so that we can continue to be proud. I'm proud of the city of Leesburg and the forward step and progress that we are making. And I say, continue to march forward. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Coney.
Man, that is condensing.
I'm sorry I threw you off a little bit. You can probably call us afterwards and read all that to us. Mr. Darren Ackerman.
Tell them I'm busy. My apologies.
My name is Darren Ackerman. My wife and I moved to Leesburg about 2 years ago. Florida resident for the better part of my life. Actually, I work out of town in Jacksonville. I'm a traveling superintendent. I work for a large commercial construction company. I've worked most all over the U.S. However, we have found Leesburg. We really enjoy it, so we love it. And I'm looking for an opportunity to be a bigger part of our community, for us to serve and help with the growth that I can see in my short time here, 2 years, that Leesburg has made. So thank you. I appreciate the time.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Felix?
Fred, there's no conflict since I see that she's pre-filed for a seat. Can you be on the board and run? This isn't like planning and zoning.
If she actually files, she would have to resign.
Okay. Just make sure you were aware of that because it comes up sometimes. So.
Yes, I spoke to Andy about
All right, great.
Yes. My name is Jasmine Felix. I live in the Winsong community, and I decided to go ahead and apply for the Greater Leesburg Community Redevelopment Agency because of my background. I do have a master's degree in occupational safety and health, OSHA compliance. I worked as a regional safety manager for a company in St. Louis, traveled 75% of the time, and I own my own company, solar company, and I also run all the safety plans for small businesses in Orlando. So, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so
Commissioner Henderson.
So the pleasure of the commission. Well, I'll throw my two. I know I was talking. I would highly recommend Miss Betty Coney for her longevity in Leesburg, and that'd be my one choice. And I'm tossed up between. I know Commissioner Roebuck, he likes new people, so I know he probably won't recommend Jerry Galber because he's been there for a while. So
20 years.
20 years. So
Very grateful for his service.
Yeah. So Ms. Felix and Mr. Ackerman, it's kind of a toss-up for me. So
I'd like to recommend Mrs. Felix and also Betty Coney. Yes.
Okay.
Is Commissioner Peterson?
I'll join that group.
Sounds good to me.
And you?
I didn't like Jerry being there 20 years. I was going to vote for Jerry, but I think he's 20 years, probably his time.
But Dan's pretty consistent.
He'll
So I knew
there
it
might be a
then.
reason he's not here.
Commissioner Hurley?
Well, mine is for Mr. Ackerman. I like somebody new, excited about coming into town. But I don't really think it matters. I can count.
Well, yeah, but who two? Who's your other one?
Aren't we already have 3-3?
We have 3 and a 4.
That pretty much sums it up. Sure, pick one of those other ones. I'll go with Jasmine Felix.
Okay.
That'd be my two, I guess, since we have 3 and 4.
All right, so it'd be Miss Felix and Miss Coney.
Okay. So someone like to make that motion for Ms. Felix and Ms. Coney?
Move to approve?
Second.
Been properly moved in second. Any further discussion from the commission? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hurley?
Yes.
Commissioner Dennison?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Roebuck?
Yes.
Mayor Christian?
Yes. We thank all you who put an application in. Congratulations to Ms. Coney and Ms. Felix and Mr. Ackerman. There are many opportunities for you, sir, and we welcome you and thank you for volunteering to serve in the city of Leesburg. Item 5D is a resolution. Someone like to introduce it, please?
I'll introduce the rest of you, Batali.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Leesburg, Florida, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute a change order with Borelli and Partners for architectural service for the Venetian Center and providing an effective date.
Move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion from the commission?
I just want, obviously, I'm the one that brought this up to Al, and I think all of you guys have seen it. My only complaint, and y'all can pass this down to whoever, I just think that $15,000 fees for engineering is crazy. So if you're here, I think you're crazy.
So the staff think that this is a accurate number, fair number? Okay.
It's pretty much what we anticipated. And here's what we're trying to do here. We left the parapet wall out of the construction to save costs, and we didn't anticipate that it would look in disrepair or bad. That corridor actually does, this is kind of a little bit like the airport issue. When we did the improved architectural standards, we required parapet walls to screen air conditionings and thing on top, but we excluded the public zoning classification. So we were within code, but not up to our standard. And as the construction process has wound down, it just doesn't look good. So to go back, we got to do some structural stuff, we got to do some wind load stuff, and you need architect, engineer to sign off on that, and that's about the running rate.
Are we doing the
Get somebody
recessed
stand.
parapet that's right around the units or coming out to the exterior
We
walls?
don't have, do we have an answer on that yet? We're going down a track of coming up with 3 solutions because we don't have a cost. Did I inform correct? That's where we're headed.
That's correct. And when I talked to the engineering folks on Thursday of last week, they think that it'll be a screen. They're leaning toward a screen around the equipment itself rather than raising the wall. But they haven't, they're still analyzing alternatives.
It's going to be tough to get the roof line to look right.
It will.
Talking about with the screen?
With anything. So I don't know what the answer is. When I just drive by, I just can't see how it's going to work. But that's why they get paid $15,000, I guess. I hope they do.
Well, whatever they come up with is going to look exactly like me and you think for free. But it's, It's just something that got missed. I mean, clearly, but those air conditioners look, all that stuff just looks horrible. I mean, you got an $8 million building when you drive by. Me and my wife were driving by yesterday, and she's like, wow, that's a lot of air conditioner bill. And I thought, yep, that's what you see when you look over there. You see the air conditioners. And it's just, I just think we've spent so much money. I don't know why we didn't think to put it on the other side or down in the back. We just missed it. But I think it's critical to hide it, and we can. If you go to Brownwood to eat dinner or something, look at that new hospital or hotel or whatever they're building. Theirs are there, and they did more of the screen instead of raising the whole wall. They just kind of made it like a little centerpiece that came out of the middle. But I mean, it's definitely going to change the roof line. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But I'd have voted yes for $25,000 in engineering, just so you guys know, because it looks ugly.
Yes, sir. You can come up to the, yes, sir.
My name is Todd Drennan. I am not a resident of Leesburg. I live on Silver Lake at 9307. I am an architect. I have no financial interest in this whatsoever. My opinion is I drove by as kind of, as an architect, we poke fun a little bit at each other, and it's like, oops, you guys made a big mistake when I saw all your air conditioners on the thing. I'm glad actually to hear it was not the architect's mistake, it was your mistake by dropping that wall and trying to save money. That problem ought to be solved. So I applaud you for recognizing it and doing it. Otherwise, it's a very nice building, but that's a very prominent feature that really ought to be solved. My recommendation would be not to raise the walls, simply because it doesn't work well with the roof lines. So that's where you'd maybe set it back with screens that are more little localized around the equipment. But I applaud you for taking an action it looks like you're about to take.
Thank you, sir. Any other public comment?
Hey, let me ask you a question. What if we did that screen, being that it's dead center in the middle of that roof, obviously, and goes down? And what if we built that tall enough that we put, the lettering of the community center or something that like it was built in as part of it, and the name was across there, Benicia Garden Community Center or something like that, like we actually meant for this to happen.
We'll get with Borelli.
Yeah.
We'll come up with a good solution.
Sounds good. Roll call.
Commissioner Dennison?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Roebuck?
Yes.
Commissioner Hurley?
Yes.
Mayor Christian?
Yes. Item is an update and review of the Ski Beach restaurant site plan. That's staff.
Yeah, and then Thad Boyd and his group is here. As you know, I guess it was about a year ago, we entered into a lease with Boyd, directly with Thad Boyd Development Group, or was it directly with you? It's been a little bit. But in any case, we have a lease, a ground lease, where the Boyd Development Group is building the restaurant at Ski Beach. Part of that requirement in the lease was that the commission holds the keys a little bit on facade site plan review, and years gone by, they've been working. They're really gearing up as far as doing geos and getting ready to start construction, with the push to have the restaurant open in June 2020. But however, in the time that went past, I think the developers have made a little bit of a substantial change to the facade. And I think that triggers the clause in your lease that allows you some architectural oversight. So with that, I'll turn it over to Thad and let Mr. Boyd kind of walk you through where they're at. In your package, you have the original concept that the commission did approve, and then the changes. And so with that, Mr. Boyd, take it away.
Okay. Thad Boyd, 1720 Southeast 16th Avenue, Ocala, Florida. We brought you guys some Ski Beach coffee cups today. We were one short, so we'll make sure we get back with another one.
Max the new guy.
What's that?
Yeah, you were late.
And after hearing the last conversation, we will make sure that our ACs are screened well, for sure. Yes. So the plan that we have today, we finally gotten to a consensus. One of the reasons why we're just now getting back up here with a new set of plans is that we've got a couple entrepreneurs that are working on this project, and we like to change our minds, but we've got it where we want it today. The overall restaurant's about 9,600 square feet, and about 6,000 of it is air conditioned, and then there's about 2,000 that'll be under a tiki hut that'll be an outdoor bar, and then we've got about 1,500 square foot that'll be on the back patio. And this is the drawings of it. We've chosen to put the tiki bar on one end. We've done extensive research on the tiki, the tiki materials that we're using, which by the way, what we're using on this is a synthetic. It actually looks better than even the real stuff, but it's fire retardant. After some of the recent events, like over at KC Crumps and Crystal River, we decided to go that route, and it looks great. It holds up well. It's got a long warranty, but one of the things about it, not only does it look good and create the kind of atmosphere that I think everybody's looking for in the lake, it breathes a lot better. It's a lot cooler to be sitting under in the summertime than what a conventional metal roof would be or what have you. So with that, and two, real quick, I wanted to kind of update on the schedule too. So if we get y'all's okay today, we've got 70% plans done. We'd be at 100%, probably sometime in the next 30 days. We've already chosen our contractor. We're signed up with our contractor. Like I said, they've already given us numbers based on the 70% plans. And if we get y'all's approval today, we could probably be in for permit no later than the first part of January. Probably be breaking ground sometime in February or March, and be completed by the end of 2020. That's where we're at. Does anybody have any questions?
You mentioned that this tiki hut is an outdoor bar.
Yes.
How exposed is it as far as openings?
Do we have? It's pretty open, but there's a floor plan up there as well that would show. Yeah, so as with what you guys are looking at, it'd be all the way on the far left-hand side. That entire area, this area right here on the end, that's all the tiki. So you got the docks on the back end, and then the entrance on the front end. That's all bar in the center. So it would be very open.
Are those windows along the side?
Along the side of the tiki area?
Yes.
No, it's totally open.
How do you secure that at night?
We'll have, and y'all stop me if I'm wrong, but we'll have like garage doors on the bar itself around it, so everything that's inside the bar. You see that a lot with outdoor kiosks and stuff now. They just have doors that'll close and lock that keep everything that's inside the bar secure at night. Any other questions?
So you have two different ideas, I guess. Two different proposals? Or at least I'm looking at two in mine. It's like I see in the tiki hut, I see
this
look, and then I see one with a metal.
This is the proposal.
Okay.
So do tiki on the one end. This is what we wanted.
That first is original.
This I just
The first one's the original.
That's the first one. Okay.
I just have this one too. Is what I was asking.
Option.
Yeah.
The one on the side,
That's
yeah.
this is the one.
Yeah, if you
That's
further
the
down,
one.
there
Okay.
was an option 1 and an option 2.
Yeah, you did send us the one with the tiki hut and the metal shed
We
roof.
send it both ways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's what they're asking.
Okay.
They like their preferred is the tiki hut with the tiki approach. The one he's showing, that's their preferred.
Okay.
Yeah, that first one, option.
I'm fine with it. I mean, first time I saw it, I made a comment to Al that, I thought the building should be consistent with community building and all that and so forth. But if this is what the developer wants to do, I think it looks nice. I can live with it.
Thank you.
Commission.
I don't know anything about restaurants. They're the ones that got to make it work. So if they think this is what works, then
I like tiki bars.
if it doesn't work, if they don't work, we get it back. So I figure they can make it work.
They done the research, so hopefully you stay in business, whatever it takes to stay in business.
You guys are gonna be proud of this place when it's done. I promise you.
it's going to be an awesome addition to Venetian Gardens and to Leesburg.
Well, I don't think the tiki hut, the material as far as the look is what's going to make you successful. You agree?
As far as look, no.
So
No, I think it definitely creates a great ambiance there, and it breathes better. I mean, that's a fact.
I get
We've
that.
done the research on that, and they're more comfortable inside.
I'm not 100% sold on the tiki look. You know, I don't know if maybe you could do tiki from the backside when you're coming from the water. That's what you see. But it is really close to the community center, which we have made our jewel. Spent a large sum of money on, as you know. And,
Right. Well, we're going to spend a lot of money on this too.
You ain't going to beat our community center.
No, I understand. It's a lot smaller than your community center. Yeah, per square foot, we might rival you.
Well, I'll give you this, though. You're going to make a lot more money than our community center if you want to keep going.
We better.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was at the other end, but it is a little bit of a hard buy-in for me on the tiki look. I love the first rendering that we originally started with, and I think it's going to work. And I like tiki hut in the back and on the water and around tables or the porch area, but I just think with what we've done overall there and what we're trying to continue on, I struggle a little bit with it.
Well, I can appreciate what you're saying, but the reason we're putting it on that end is because we wanted the bar to be on the Venetian Gardens end where everything's going to be happening.
No, I get it.
You know?
Any public comment on this item? All right, so are you looking for a consensus? Are you looking for a vote? What are we looking for? To go to 100%?
Yeah, vote 100%.
Is there a place that we can fly the Sea Ray over and actually taxi up to it?
There will be.
We have requested tie-down
Yes.
There
access.
will be, yes.
Yeah, there's
This is how you did. You ask and you get.
Yeah, I think a motion and a vote on the proposed change.
Is there any way to add a little bit of tiki look at the other end or something? I mean, to kind of balance
Boat
it
Club's
out,
going to
or-
have tiki at the other end.
Yeah, they've already got a tiki hut.
Yeah.
I move to approve.
Second?
I'll second.
All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Roebuck?
Yes.
Commissioner Hurley?
Yes, I love it.
Commissioner Dennison?
Yes.
Mayor Christian?
Yes. All right.
Thank you very
Ball's
much.
back in your court.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, the ball is back in our court.
I had an effort to.
Open by July 4th, right?
Not quite.
That's the end of June.
2021.
Yeah,
For sure.
Thad, did you change the date on that? Hey Thad, before you run off, did you change the date on estimated opening push it back from June 2020? Are you at the end of
Yes,
2020 now?
we won't break ground probably until March.
Okay.
So we're looking at probably October and November.
Okay.
On actual opening. All right?
Messing us up for summer, man.
What's that?
You're messing us up for summer.
Hey, I know. Randy's all over us, believe me.
Randy, you got to get on them harder, man. 4th of July. Have goals, man. Have goals.
I had an effort to discussion item.
He said he's going to have a food truck.
Hey, can you put a tiki hut on top of it?
Thanks, sir.
All right, okay. All right, discussion item F, commission meeting dates. Have everybody had an opportunity to look at those dates that fall on holidays?
Isn't it just the one date?
Just the one, the Memorial Day.
What, either the 18th or the 26th?
What's the 26th?
26th is the Tuesday
Tuesday.
after, the 18th is the Monday
Tuesday
before.
after.
I don't have a preference.
I have a board meeting that third Monday, so can we do that Tuesday? If I could, that Tuesday?
Tuesday's fine.
Tuesday's fine with me.
You good,
Okay.
Helen?
May
Okay.
2020.
I knew he was going to say that.
This one right here.
He said 2020. He's like, what
I
is
barely
that?
got November figured out, man. Don't ask me about May of next year.
Say to give him a text.
Tell you what, y'all have the meeting. If I can, I'll show up.
All right, thank you.
That's all you
As
need.
mayor next
Oh, I should do like everybody else. Yes, of course, I'm free that day. Sure.
There are no informational reports tonight. City attorney items.
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. City manager items.
Just one, and I'll keep you up to date as we move on this. As you know, the wastewater department is currently in a design phase to make an expansion at the Turnpike wastewater treatment facility, and we got that project estimated around $12 million. We have a grant opportunity, which is the good news of we think we can maybe get about $1 million in grant funding from DEP. So this grant is pretty specific. It runs through the legislature, so we'll need your all support. We'll also need to get with Representative Sabatini and Senator Baxley, get them to sign off on it, and we'll be working with Hydro Solutions to get the grant application in. Some of the preliminary stuff is November 1st, so we'll be hopping to get that done by then. And once we get it in, we'll visit back with you. Probably need some resolutions of support, need to lobby our delegation there a little bit and move forward. So with any luck, hopefully we can grab about $1 million.
How does it go through Tallahassee?
It's an appropriation thing. I think that the legislature.
There's two things we're working on. We are going through DEP for a grant, water quality grant, and then separate from that, because the governor has emphasized water quality, we're going to try to get a legislative ad.
So we actually want an appropriation?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Because we got to get on that like now, because they're in committee now, and then one in December.
Right, the initial requests are due November 1st.
Yeah, okay.
Somebody's doing their homework.
He's gearing up for Tallahassee.
That's all you have, city manager?
That's it, sir.
Public comment. This section reserved for members of the public to bring up matters of concern, opportunities for praise. Issues brought up will not be discussed in detail at this meeting. Issues will either be referred to the proper staff or be scheduled for consideration at a future city commission meeting. Comments are limited to 3 minutes, please. Are there any public comment tonight? No public comment. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Dennison?
Did we change December 23rd meeting of this year to another date?
December's the 2nd and the 3rd Mondays.
Oh, so we have changed it to the 16th.
Yeah, it's in the code. 2nd and 3rd Mondays for December.
Good, thank you.
Okay.
Let's see. I didn't mention the fact that the mall opened up an ice skating rink a couple weeks ago, and I'd like to invite everybody to try that out. For those of you who have never ice skated, they have some balance equipment, so you're not going to be flip-flopping all over the place, but they did a nice job. It's a French champion that is giving lessons over there, and his wife actually was a silver medalist at the Olympics. So you've got some really great people to learn from. Price is great, so please support them all. I'd like to congratulate Leesburg football team for beating both Tavares and Eustis. So they're doing pretty well. I'm always glad when they're beating our neighbors, and I hope they keep that up. They're playing somebody really strong Friday night, so keep cheering them. The only other issue I have is the airport pond. We talked about this about 6 years ago, having that pond cleaned up and putting like a walkway or something around it so that when you're over there at the main building, you're not looking out at a swamp and it looks so horrible. So now that we're doing more things with the airport over there, can we please go ahead and start the movement of that pond?
Well, we got a bid on cleaning all that up. It was like 75, 60 grand, 100 and something.
How about we issue it again, because that's ridiculous.
Yeah, we have to edit the scope. And
Yes.
Okay, we'll get it back out.
Thank you.
Isn't that a stormwater project? That's a stormwater project, and you need to do it right. That was my comment last time. Is I don't want to cut it back because then it's gonna look nice for 3 years and then grow right back. If we're gonna do it, you need to like legitimately get all the stuff out, so we're not doing it again. But stormwater is a stormwater project.
I like the foliage.
You wouldn't want to walk around it.
I'll report back to you on that one.
Thank you. And that's all I have tonight.
Commissioner Dennison, Peterson,
Nothing tonight.
Commissioner Roebuck.
Just mentioned we got a couple exciting events coming up here. We got the chili cook-off November 2nd, I think, that Saturday. And then the weekend after, 8th, 9th, and 10th is a new event, Leesburg Balloon Festival. And I believe there's also a movie night at Ski Beach that same weekend. Next weekend? I got it wrong. When is it?
16th.
The 16th. Okay. So lots of exciting stuff coming up.
Commissioner Hurley.
Nothing for me, Dan took it all.
Mayor Christian.
Nothing tonight. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you.